Good morning, good afternoon, people. I hope you are keeping well. I hope you're taking your multivitamins, your immune system is topped up, you're exercising, you're eating well, you're sleeping well. If you're not doing all of those things, there's something wrong with you and you should fix it. Seriously, you need to stay well, keep fit and healthy as much as you can. Anyway, here we go. Today, we're going to look at solving word. Sorry, there's my little child having a tantrum for some reason. My apologies. He'll be fine. He normally is, and if not, it's a lesson for life. Anyway, so today we're going to look at solving word problems or worded problems that involve using the highest common factor or the lowest common multiple. I've got one example of each, and hopefully you're going to take this away as a general sort of type problem, and hopefully you'll find this helpful and it'll sort of guide you with the work. So let's start with the first question. Box A is 30 centimeters high and box B is 50 centimeters. Box B is 50 centimeters high. So how many of each do we need to pile on top of each other so that we have two towers of equal height? Okay, so we're going to take the 30 centimeter boxes. I'm going to start piling them up on top of each other. We're going to take the 50 centimeter boxes. We're going to pile them up on top of each other until we have two towers of the same height. So how many 30 centimeters boxes do we need? How many 50 centimeter boxes do we need? Now this question, I presume you could solve you could work it out by drawing a picture or something like that. In principle, you should use highest common factor or lowest common multiple. That's what the examiner is looking for. Basically, I know that this question I'm gonna need the lowest common multiple. How do I know that? Because in general, any question that is about when will two things be the same again in the future, or when will two amounts or increments of two amounts would have the same value, that typically is a lowest common multiple question. So this question, when will 30 and 50 or multiples of 30, 60, 90, 50, 100, 100, when will they have the same height, is when will two things happen again in the future at the same time or have the same value. That is a lowest common multiple question. Another typical question that you may find with lowest common multiple is buses leave a depot every 10 minutes or the bus leaves the depot every 25 minutes. When will they leave at the same time again? So when will two things happen in the future again? That's the lowest common multiple question. Or another classic question is one set of light blinks every 3 seconds, another set of light blinks every 7 seconds. When will they blink at the same time again? You can see the pattern there is a lowest common multiple question. So hopefully you remember how to find the lowest common multiple. Step number 1 is to do the prime factor decomposition of the two numbers. So 30 is 2 times 3 times 5, and 50 is 2 times 5 times 5. If you remember how to do that. Then we need to remember our little Venn diagram. So that's 30 and that's 50. The 2 is common, so I only write it once in the middle. 1, 5 in common, so I write it in the middle, and the 3 goes there, and the 5 goes there. That's my Venn diagram, and remember, to find the lowest common multiple, I have to multiply all the numbers in the Venn diagram together. So the lowest common multiple is going to be 3 times 2 times 5 times 5. You got a calculator in the exam, so this shouldn't be complicated. 25 times 2 is 150. So the lowest common multiple is 150. I haven't finished. What does that 150 represent? That represents the height of the towers. So I know that the height of the towers is going to be 150. But they're asking me to find how many boxes of each type am I going to need? Well, if the height is 150 and I've got 30 centimeter boxes, that means I'm going to need 5 boxes of the 30 centimeter height, and I am going to need 3 boxes of the 50 centimeter height. So that's the actual final answer. Okay, 5 boxes of 30 centimeters, 5 times 30 is 150. 3 boxes of 50 centimeters, 3 times 50 is 150. Now you could have told me, yes, you could have just written 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 50, and you could have got there. But with more complicated numbers, the safest way to get to the answer is using this method. Hopefully that was clear enough. Now, let's look at a different problem, which is the one I've got here. Now, it says that we've got 48 balloons and 36 sweets, and we want to put an equal amount of balloons in bags and an equal amount of sweets in the bags. It doesn't mean that I want to have the same amount of balloons and sweets in each bag. It means that each bag has to have the same amount of balloons as every other bag, and that each bag has to have the same amount of sweets as every other bag. Okay? So, in general, again, I know this is a highest common factor question. How do I know that? Because it's about sharing amounts. It's about having 2 amounts and wanting to share them equally. So that's a highest common factor question. So again, we start by finding the highest common factor of 48 and 36. So you need to work out the highest common factor of 48 and 36, and you do that by finding the prime factor of the composition. Now 48 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. You can work it out whichever method you prefer. 36 how am I going to do 36? 36 is 2 times 18, so it's 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Right, that's the prime factor of the composition of 48 and 36. Again, I am going to draw a Venn diagram. 48, 36, I've got 1, 2 in common. I've got another 2 in common. I've got 1, 3 in common, and then on the 48 I've got 1, 2 and a 2, and then that 3 goes there. Brilliant stuff. Remember, to find the highest common factor from a Venn diagram, all we need to do is multiply the common numbers, so the ones in the intersection. So the highest common factor of 48 and 36 is going to be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. So that's 12. That's 12. There you go, 12. Now what does the 12 mean in the context of the question I've got here? It means that we're going to have 12 bags. We're going to fill 12 bags with balloons and sweets. Now how many balloons, how many sweets go into each bag? Well, you can figure out we are there. If I have 48 balloons and I'm going to put them in 12 bags, 48 divided by 12 is 4. I am going to put 4 balloons in each bag. And how many sweets? 3. I am going to put 3 sweets in each bag. So I'm going to have 12 bags with 4 balloons and 3 sweets inside in each one. That is it. So this is examples of how to use highest common factor and lowest common multiple to solve worded problems, okay? So to recap, anything to do with things having the same value or happening again at the same time in the future type thing is going to be a lowest common multiple question. And remember that finding the lowest common multiple may not be the final answer. you may have to do one more step. Anything to do with splitting amounts into splitting two or more amounts into equal parts, that's going to be a highest common factor type question. I hope you found this helpful. I hope it makes sense. Please copy the questions in your books, have it nice and neat for reference. Pause the video, rewind it, watch it again, have it for reference, and try some on your own. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you're keeping safe. Please look after yourselves. Don't do anything stupid. I know some of you find it difficult, but please try. And I'll see you soon. Take care. See you next time. Bye.